Welcome back, gang. It's Deltia from Deltiasgaming.com, and I'm here to do a side-by-side comparison of Oakensoul on the live server in comparison to the changes proposed in the PTS. If you don't know, some important and impactful major buffs have been reduced to minor buffs, and a lot of people are very critical, and I haven't seen a whole lot of side-by-side comparison actually doing content. So I was very skeptical on this change, but we ran it. Apples to apples, Magpar using 2 5P sets in Veteran Maelstrom Arena, and let's see what it actually looks like and what it actually feels like. So I'm going to walk you through what I used and why, what the runs felt like. The ultimate goal of this video is to find out if Oakensoul is crap or worthwhile, and also to give feedback to the developers on, hey, what we could do to improve it so that it could help the landscape of Elder Scrolls Online. I'd highly recommend hitting like and subscribe if you like this type of content, because we're going to keep on digging into the PTS. And also, I'd recommend you share this video if you agree with my opinion with the developers, because there's still time to get this change. It's on the public test server. So let's find out. Left side, we got the live server. Right side, we got the PTS. Let's get started. If you don't know, Oakensoul is a 1-bar mythic, so it locks you into 1 bar, and it gives you a crap ton of major buffs. Currently on the live server, it gives you major courage, so that's weapon and spell damage, major berserk, which is raw damage, your savagery or your prophecy, which is crit, major protection, which we're going to touch on a little bit later, major brutality and sorcery, so it's going to give you your armor buff, it's going to give you your weapon and spell damage, your crit buff, and it's going to make you very, very strong, along with major force. So you do a lot of damage, you don't have to cast a lot of abilities, which frees you up to just basically use main spammables and a couple dots, and that's exactly what we did on the Magpar. So what I did on my Magpar, shout out to Toon Raider who suggested to just do basic sets. So I did Deadly Strike. It's from Cyrodiil. You can buy it from the vendor. It is base game. Second set I used was Overwhelming Surge. Base game, Tempest Island. Did not use any Trials gear here. And then I used a 1-piece Slime Crawl. So I had 6 light, 1 medium, and then Oakensoul, obviously with an Inferno Staff, Precise Trait, Fire. The reason I went with this loadout is it's kind of applicable to the average player, not using bosses and Kinras or really crazy out-of-this-world solo arena sets that no one can pull off. So something you can actually get pretty easily and put in the dungeon and implement. So that's what I did. High Elf, Magic Templar, Thief, Mundastone, those gear sets, exact same champion points, and ran it back to back. So the very first run on the live server, with Oakensoul activated in its current form, you can really tell the damage difference, along with the damage reduction. That was the most noticeable thing. So currently on the live server, you get major protection, you get major berserk, major force. You just hit very hard without the need to really do much else than your main spammable on a Magpar specifically. Magpar is unique in that your main spammable is great single target and AoE. It's a perfect beginner class for this specific reason. And with Oakensoul, it's a match made in heaven. Load up your bar with maybe 1 or 2 damage over time effects. I didn't even have a heal. The reason why is Purifying Light and Puncturing Sweeps is such a strong combo, it carried my entire healing. Another thing I noticed regarding the damage was I got so much more health is what it seemed like doing Puncturing Sweeps, because I was doing more damage, and that's how the scaling heals. Purifying Light was healing me, and those 2 things, I didn't even put a shield on. Now, I also noticed a lot of damage reduction, since a Magic Templar has minor protection built in their kit when you're using jabs, but you don't have major protection, and you have to slot a ability for that. So with Oakensoul, you're getting major protection, reducing your damage significantly. You can get the preparation passive from champion points as well. In the Staving Death sub-constellation, that's another 10% damage reduction. In a Templar, you get minor protection. So you're looking at it pretty much at all times, 25% damage reduction. So when a couple of different bosses swipe and hit me, I didn't dip like 75% of my health just instantly gone. It was much easier to recover. And I just rotate maybe a dodge or 2 in there when my magic was low or I needed some mobility, and it was very, very, very easy to survive. Not to mention you have major heroism, so you're getting ultimate back. That gives you ultimate back really, really fast, and you're constantly using Meteor. Meteor's fantastic ultimate of choice if you just have one. Stun, when they're on their feet, when they're stationary, it just completely burns them down. Plus you get ultimate back. So you're constantly firing off meteors, making it very easy to blow through the content. So what's the catch? Well, it's so dang powerful on PvE solo that you don't even need a heal. You can pretty much just blow through the content. But in its current form, I like it in PvE. because you're not going to outparse and outperform a 2-bar build. In fact, my other build can get about 2 to 3 minutes faster, and that's a great sweet spot. Now let's change gears here and talk about the PTS version of this. So the PTS version changes the major buffs to minor. So minor courage, minor berserk, minor force, minor protection, and heroism. But you do gain minor mending. So on a Templar specifically, you already can get minor mending, and you can already get minor protection. So those are pretty much redundant no-go buffs, and you could really tell. The biggest one was major protection. Lowering that damage, it really hurt when I was doing a couple of different bosses. My health would just drop to almost nothing, and thankfully I have tons and tons of experience, so I was able to pop up pretty quickly, and I still didn't have a heal, so I was relying on jabs and purifying light, and of course J-beam to heal me back up. Also heroism, very, very noticeable. You're not getting meteors back nearly as often, and I think that's an okay and a fair nerf. Especially if you're going to take this into PvP. You can't have Dragonites using corrosive armor permanently. And then major berserk and major force. I could really feel a lot less damage and a lot less healing coming back from my jab. Now that's twofold, right? Because jabs and purifying light got adjusted, along with the damage reduction got adjusted. So you can see a pretty big gap. And it was a little bit challenging, but I don't think Oakensoul was completely nerfed. And that's my final thoughts here. Is Oakensoul worth using? Yes. It's worth using for some players. I don't think it's going to carry you through content in its current form. But I have a suggestion to the developers if they watch, and I recommend that you share this video to help them watch. I think the ultimate solution to make this perfect sweet spot, from my experience in my run, is to give it minor Aegis, which reduces your damage by 5%. So that is a PvE buff and will not translate into PvP. It will have zero impact on PvP. And also minor Slayer, that will increase your damage by 5% in PvE only, and again will have zero impact in PvP. The reason I think this is the best route for this mythic and to solve it is 2 bars farly outperform Oakensoul in PvE. That's exactly where you want them to be. You want high damage, easy abilities, easy cast, easy peasy, but be able to complete the content if you like it. In its current form, the damage reduction specifically was probably the most noticeable issue I had with it, and I think the minor Aegis is critical for making this useful. I also did some duels off stream with Oakensoul in the 1-bar build on my hybrid Templar that I always play. And the damage is so reduced, it's pretty noodle. I'm very survivable, which is nice, but I just hit like a noodle. So yeah, I can run around and basically survive indefinitely, but I'm really gonna struggle killing someone that's equally as skilled and geared as me. But I think the majority of people that are using Oakensoul really want something that's functional in PvE, that gets them to be able to experience the content that they want. Changing these two things, I think, will radically change your experience. Don't overreact. Oakensoul hopefully will go through an adjustment. They'll listen to me or you if you have a better idea than I do, but it's not completely gutted in its current form. It is significantly reduced though, and I think the average player might need a little bit of a tune-up to make it a really good thing that can be functional inside of PvE, but not be a mandatory set and forget PvP item. So here's the proof. Hope you got something out of this. More to come as we test the gear sets and the class specific changes, so make sure to smash that like, hit that subscribe, and leave me a comment. Was I right? Was I wrong? Is it complete garbage? Or what do they need to do to make this the sweet spot? Thanks for watching.